Okay, cool. We're going live now. So let's take a look here at a deep dive of some Zelda lore because when I was a kid, one of my favorite things to do was just screw around, look at lore of my favorite video games. So I figured let's just take a look here at the old Zelda wiki. Just kind of screw around and do a little bit of learning because we could be learning real life history, but instead we're going to take a look here at some fictional Zelda theories almost, because isn't a lot of Zelda isn't a lot of Zelda just kind of like strung together in the sense like I heard a theory that Zelda's more of a is more of like a retelling of the same story. You know, it's kind of like if Disney bought the rights to like the Zelda game, like the book, and then they just keep like retelling it in different like timeline, different like settings. Basically, it's like the same, origin story, just told a little bit differently. You know, you got Ganon, you got Zelda. You know, whether it's the Wind Waker where everything's flooded, Zelda, Ocarina of Time. You know, with the back and forth stuff. You know, each sort of game takes place in its own, set time and space, and it kind of like is supposed to identify, I think, with like the culture or whoever's telling that story. So like in Skyward Sword, it was kind of like again like a how the land was created maybe, and like I said, for like it's just an allegory, I guess. But anyways, let's jump into this. So let's take a look here at Lawn Ranch because I don't know why I always found that place to be really fun. What the hell? What game is that? The Minish Cap. All right, so that's kind of cool. So as we know, the Lone Ranch is kind of over there, and the main people there is like the Talon, Malon, and Ingo. Ingo. I never know how to pronounce these names. Okay, obviously that is where you get Epona's song, and then once in the future, Ganondorf, I guess, like I don't know how Ganondorf did it, just put him in charge and took over the ranch there. Talon's kicked out of the ranch. Malon has to obey the orders. Definitely seen that anime, and yada yada yada. You win. That's how you get the cow. Okay, nothing that cool yet. Four Sword Adventures. I heard that game is fun. Okay, so again, we got some Malon there. I want more like general fun, like trivia here. Okay, so the milk bar owner claims that his milk comes from there. So this is what I'm saying. Like in A Link Between Worlds, it just shows up there. It's always the same characters, probably. Breath of the Wild, a ruin. I want to see what it looks like. For Ocarina of Time, called Ranch Ruins, can be fine. Let's take a look what that looks like. Ruins. I guess we'll just stay over here. That's kind of cool. You still gonna have the racetrack there. That's very cool. I love that. I'm sure everything is showing up how it's supposed to, right? Streaming. I'm not used to that yet. Yeah, there we go. All right. Just making sure. Hey, bud. Just probably gonna say hi. Really appreciate that. I don't really have. I'm not like a cool kid who has two screens. So if I don't get your chat super quick, that's why. You probably already left anyways. But yeah, really appreciate the kind words, appreciate your comments and whatnot, being a small YouTuber, even just like one comment's enough for me to like smile for a week. All right, a style horse. Can you get a style horse in this game? So I didn't really play Breath of the Wild that much. Sorry if I just screamed in your head. I didn't really play Breath of the Wild that much. It was fun, but I think one of the things I like more about the like more traditional Zelda games is that it kind of just like sets you on a path. I would never really play games well like Red Dead Redemption or any like the GTA games just because it was just so open world. It really just felt like you could do anything, and that almost made me like I'm not gonna say uncomfortable, All right, Talon. Oh my gosh, the good old Mario ripoff. God, this is such a good website. I cannot believe how good the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time looks like. Okay, I want to let's take a look here. So yeah, he's in charge. Very lazy. He points talent. Underling takes charge of the ranch. Okay, yada yada yada. Same story right here. Coco filling. Still sleeping on Mount Cuckoo. I want to see what Mount Cuckoo looks like. Cuckoo, however you pronounce it. Kind of hoping though to be in the shape of a chicken. That's kind of disappointing though. I think this is one of my favorite things. Again, like it's in Minish Cap and all these games. I think one of my favorite things about like Nintendo games in general, Mario's, whatever. It's just the same thing over and over again. It's the same music. Here we are in Minish Cap. They're over there, operate east of Hyrule Town, Castle Town, whatever. Locked out of the house. Development. That talent was based on Terran and Marin from Link's Awakening. It is intended that the players who have played it will recognize the reference. Let's take a look to see if someone like me, it's from the future, can kind of... I feel like that's not really fair. That, I mean, the sprite from, what, Link's Awakening? Yeah, they were supposed to recognize that somehow, unless this is just... I mean, I did see that from the 3, but that's from like the Nintendo Switch version, so that's like not fair. Like, you were supposed to recognize that. That's not possible. That's unfair. That's unrealistic expectations. Yeah, I bet having a second screen would be incredible. I bet that would totally speed up the workflow like an insane amount. And just being able to like put this over here so I can just like pop over and be like, oh yeah, that's what's going on over that screen, so you don't have to just hang around for 3 minutes of me talking about nonsense. Literally nonsense. I'm not even sure how people will ever be able to handle this, but anyways, yeah, I definitely need that second screen. And screens aren't even that expensive anymore. I bet I can go to like any Goodwill and find that screen. Okay, I did love that Ballad of the Windfish, like little song ballad, as they call it. Okay, Link's Awakening. That's a very kind of interesting game because that one's like straight up just shows you that it's kind of like a figment of the imagination. So let's kind of see what they say over there. That's gonna be fun. Okay, small settlement of. Okay, so that's probably the smartest thing to do is to start on the island. I bet streaming is probably one of the easiest way to get your identity stolen. I feel like there's probably so much that I'm just like letting. They already know what kind of ads I'm trying to go for. They already know I need free SSD cards. So that's like a big hint over my entire identity. Okay, so anyway, this moment. Okay, after waking up at Marin and Terran's house, which are supposed to be Malin and whatever his name is. What is his name? Talon? Malin and Talon? I guess that's supposed to be them, so that's the good guys. Okay. Okay. Village, the library. Okay, we're gonna lay the land. 2 shops. Nomenclature. Mabe is derived from the Japanese version of the name village, which may have actually been derived from the German word for seagull. That would be appropriate given Marin's strong association with seagulls. This isn't really so much delve into lore, I think, as much as I just want trivia. For seagull, so that would be cool. Village means village of seagulls in both language. Now that is cool. That's funny. If this is official art, this is cool. This one's not so cool. This one's kind of creepy. I mean, it's cool in its own sense, but it doesn't scream like what I expect the Zelda official artwork to look like. That's cute. I want to see that 3D 3DS. Whoa, no way. That is so vibrant. What talent some people have, and here I can just talk about other people's stuff. That's true. I guess I could use my phone in chat. Let's take a look at that. Let's see how that will work. I'm very not that technologically savvy, though, when it comes... Like, I'm learning by the seat of my pants here. Just every day is a different thing with, like, YouTube Studio and whatnot. I don't know. It's just with Macs. Everything just seems to be extra, like, something that should be simple just is not. And I'm not really good at multitasking, so I'm going to see if I can pull this up live. Let's see, content. Live currently now. No, I guess not. I don't know. All right. Well, thanks for trying. It's just, yeah, with the Macs, it's just like everything is a puzzle. It's like something that should just work. It takes, reading on forums, watching YouTube videos. Is that what you use to edit your videos? I think that's a editing device or a program, right? I would suggest, that's the one thing I do like about Mac and that's the one reason I did buy the Mac, is just it's so set up for content creation. That's just iMovie alone was great. Audacity, yeah, you can't go wrong with Audacity. But just iMovie alone was a game changer for me. And then Final Cut Pro really is not that hard. Oh, wait, here we go. This is big brain time. Okay, there we go. That's going to annoy me really quickly, though. We'll see how long I can make that last. Okay, so let's check out this island in general. Because it's supposed to be just like a figment of his imagination. Yeah, Twilight Princess is kind of interesting. I just feel like it's a whole like retelling of the whole Ocarina of Time. Well, no, okay, that's definitely it's a rehash of the game in a sense with like the setup, but it's totally its own story. I do agree that Twilight Princess probably does have the most richest story. If you finished if you've played Skyward Sword, I think that's up there for a good story though. I've never played it on the Wii U, but I enjoyed what I did on I enjoyed what it was for the Wii. Or sorry, the Switch. Like I said, I'm terrible at multitasking, so almost having this chat is gonna just like be a detriment to me. Okay, so the Illusionary Land, the entirety of Link's awakenings take place, yeah. Solely in the Windfish's dreams. Now that is interesting, okay. This is reminded to Link throughout the sense the rival Link is ordered by monsters trying to prevent the Windfish from waking up in order to take over the dream world. That sounds convoluted right there, the whole taking over the dream world. Okay, so it consists of the Windfish egg. No, I can't even like talk and type at my job. If I'm like talking to somebody and like I need to type at the same time, it's a train wreck. Is it range? I gotta learn how to multitask. I gotta unlock that second half of my brain. Okay. Non-canonical. I'm bummed out about the lack of trivia on all these. Depicted having a Windfish egg. The center of the game is complete north of the island. Well, that's just for game design. You can't have something in the middle there. So it's in the middle, but it's the furthest north of the map. So I definitely think that gets a pass. That's kind of cool. Wow, they did a really like faithful job to the original. All right, biography. Here we go. He can only be awakened with the instrument. Oh, because he's also in He's also in right. He's also in Skyward Sword, I believe. Right. I don't think it's bad as ADHD. I just think I wish I could blame it on something like ADHD, and I'm almost afraid to like talk to my doctor about it because I don't want them to be like, sorry, you're actually normal. Like you're actually like just weird and can't focus. I'm not gonna prescribe you any medication. That's like my biggest fear is to go to the doctor and tell them like, and I do that. My doctor probably thinks I'm a hypochondriac. I'll go to them and just be like, I think I sit weird and now my knee hurts, and they'll be like, no, you're fine. I'll be like, thanks, doctor. I'm almost proof why Americans shouldn't have free healthcare. That's probably a controversial thing to say, and we're not gonna go into that, but yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's go back to the windfish here. Okay, so you can only go into sirens. Well, I don't know. That's a hard thing to say. It's way too fun. I think if you had it in the proper doses, though, it probably wouldn't be fun. It'd just be very routine. And I think that's a thing that sometimes people don't realize is that medication, you like need time to like try it out for a little bit and then like see if it works for you. I think a lot of people like think it's gonna be like this quick fix and then like they drop it. So I'm just a big proponent of always talking to your doctor about stuff, though. But I understand that that's easier said than done for a lot of people. He created the Coho Lint Island. I cannot pronounce things at all. Manifestation of land seen in dreams created through the dreamer's sleep. Just a figment of his dreams are dumbstruck by the land outside the island shores. That's cool. Like, that's just such good storytelling right there. Just have actual, like, sentient beings in a dream world. Though how he ended up in the dream world is unknown. It was all probably just a dream anyways. For Link trying to storm created by the windfish while he is sleeping. Oh, so he actually goes into the storm created by the windfish. Throughout his adventure, many hints from him were told throughout Ballad of the Windfish. Oh, that's not really a hint. That's kind of telling you that there is one. Purest dreamer, ultimately true its eventual doom. God, and they say like Majora's Mask is the darkest, but this is kind of like a different kind of dark. Because again, like they're supposed to be like sentient beings guarding the 8 instruments. Part of the dream. That's such a cool. Okay. The final shadow nightmare sent upward to the sky. The dreamer who is now awake and reveals himself to be the giant whale lavishly endorsed with the cloth. But ultimately tells Link that all dreams must end. A very true statement. All dreams must end. Since the beginning of time, that's like what man has just been like trying to overcome. You know, just trying to like hold on to like a good feeling. But like, you know, the sands of time's always ticking. Make him a mammal. Okay, well it's cutting it. The windfish just sounds better. I mean, it all depends on what I'm looking for in a Zelda game, because like Link's Awakening, the 2D atmosphere, the cute graphics, the music, like it, you know, it's almost like what itch you're trying to scratch at that time. Maybe for nostalgia reasons, it might be Majora's Mask. But upon replaying it, like it just seems a little too quick. Like 4 dungeons is kind of quick for any like Zelda game. But like the side quests are really still fun, and like the animations are fun. But it's just about like the what itch I'm trying to crack it or scratch at that point. Endurance is Cyan. I want to look up more into Marin because she seems self-aware, and that seems cool. I thought the windfish was in Skyward Sword, so that's strange. Have you played Skyward Sword yet? again, it seems very controversial. I still don't know how people expect to see that as a long rant. Okay, Bay feeling. She sees Link just kind of on Toro Bo show. It's controversial, you know. It's yeah. I realized that I haven't played as many Zelda games as there are actually out there. Oh no! My dog's gonna be so jealous that I got the cat on my lap, but she deserves love too. Okay. Okay, I can already see this is gonna end badly. That's the cute 3D one with the boat and stuff, right? I don't know. I may have missed the one that you said like that. That's the 3. I don't know my cat distracted me, so I'm not exactly sure what 3D one with the boat and stuff. If you're talking about Link's Awakening, I think that is the one with Link's Awakening, if that's the one we're talking about. Okay, so I must know everything about Link, but I'm going to laugh. Skyward Sword. Oh, Skyward Sword, there's no real boat in it. I guess you can kind of count like the bird you fly around is the boat, but it's very linear, like so much, like it's just cutscene trigger after cutscene trigger. At least you can skip it, I think, was one of like the big things that was like a huge quality of life improvement. But if you're not really into Zelda games in general, I would not like go out and just buy it just to have it. They both go down a well. The trendy game shop along with the crane. Other appearances. Okay, when it disappears if Link manages to complete his quest without dying. We're going to see the end credits. We're going to see when they enter. Flying. A winged Marin? I thought it was just a seagull. Revealing a seagull. Oh, okay, it is. Yeah. What a beautiful ending. I'm sure some people get a little disappointed on something like that because it's so quick, but it really is a beautiful ending. What game did she get a trophy in? Melee? The Melee trophies were so cool. Yeah, the sounds, and that's what I was kind of talking about earlier, is like just Nintendo games in general has the best reusing of like assets or like intellectual property, like just always going back to the classic musics, always going back to like it, it just brings that familiarity, however you pronounce it, that little melody that plays when you do something right, that's like do 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 do, like that's just how you build like a long-term brand that has like now transferred from like children to adults to like giving it to their children. It's pretty great, just especially now with like Switch and stuff, that you can kind of like play these classic games. They're so much more accessible. I know it's also controversial to like say anything positive about the new Nintendo Switch Online premium stuff, but it is kind of cool that you can just so easily play like these games with like your nieces and nephews that were used to, if you were really into it. And yeah, that Lost Woods song, just the remixes, whatever fans can do with remixes are always so talented, what people can do. I think video game music is like the only thing I'll actually honestly listen to. It just makes me so happy, just video game music, whether it's a remix or official. Like I've been going like super into like the Undertale live 5th anniversary concert. Even if you don't like Undertale, if you don't at least respect the music, then I seriously question your taste. If you can't, I understand if you don't like the game, it's not for everybody, but the music, I feel like there's a lot of love in that. Okay. Oh, that's so cute that she'll actually like critique him and then pretend she did not say anything. That's so funny. For the harp, she has never seen one with one in the game. Yeah, I don't know how you were supposed to get that if you were playing that game. If there's no way you can do that. Okay, that you were supposed to be able to tell that Terran and Marin were Talon and Malon. I guess but from a word perspective, you would be able to get that, but not from the designs. That's unfair. Affinity for seagulls. Wait, what? Ariel. Okay. Marin. Can we notice that? Who's Ariel? At first I thought that was his sister. They both like seagulls. Zelda. Yeah, okay. They don't look anything like each other. I didn't know. But that's kind of cute. And then that's just what I'm talking about. Again, just bringing like little like themes and stuff back you can draw on from like previous stuff. Is she going to be playable in like Hyrule Warrior? Alright, we'll get to that when we get to that. We gotta do one step at a time. Yeah, I can get lost in so many like Nintendo music remix channels. If I have like time that I'm like editing or like just reading, or not really reading or writing. I don't read as much as I should. Okay, perform Marital Chastise. But yeah, I always have Nintendo music on. I wish I could play it just like right now while I'm doing this stream, but I feel like that's a good way to like not allow it. Plus with Max, it's like, again, a puzzle to figure out how to stream music through your desktop so other people can hear it. And I'm just happy that I was able to get my face in the corner there. Like, that's just a big accomplishment for me already. So I'm not gonna push the gods. Instead encouraging, what the? She'll chastise you, but if you keep on doing bad stuff, she encourages it. That's funny. Her draw something. Zelda. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Now let's get over to Ariel. Because this is going to be just a bunch of nonsense. Just going from one thing to another. God, the Wind Waker HD looks so good. She is in Hyrule Warriors, I think. Oh my god. Grandma, outside island, kind, mature, eager to help others, especially your grandma. Her favorite hobby is to hang out outside and look at the seagulls, her telescope. That's cute. Oh, and most cherished possession, she gave it to Link on his birthday. That's nice. Hits it successfully, fall into the fairy woods. Okay. Shit. Later, Link first thing was able to rescue her. Pirates take her away and promise to return her. That's good. As such, spends the rest of the game traveling. Whoa! She actually spends the rest of the game traveling with the pirates. That's so funny. That's awesome. Ariel has a change of wardrobe during the stay with the pirates. She changes to a dark purple dress. Oh, what? Do I get to see it? Does it show it? It better show it somewhere. I cannot wait to see that. That's so cool. And I don't know. I'm sure you can get away with it, that doing it, but I just don't want to lose out on content just because I am using other people's music, especially like Nintendo. I know there's some places that don't mind it, but I feel like Nintendo's the one place you don't want to mess around with when it's their intellectual properties. It's reference to Navy. I can't pronounce any of these names, so if anybody's screaming at the computer while I'm trying to pronounce these names, I feel for you. For the telescope. He jokes that it was originally a gift that he had borrowed from his younger sister. Marked with turtles. Who was in charge of that? That seems like a really easy mistake, like, to avoid. Okay, red flower. Here comes a word. From what language, though? In the character notes inside Zelda book. Zelda box. Yeah. How does it not show what her thing is? That's so disappointing. That's so disappointing. Forsaken Fortress. Jaguar. Now you're making me like, now I'm not sure if I can pronounce it right. Okay, so first dungeon, Great Flood. I gotta check out the Great Flood and Ritos Fortress. I feel like that's the next thing. Tangle. I can't wait to see that. Okay. Dun dun dun. During his first visit. Okay, I don't really need to. I want to get more like trivia. Okay, modifier in the Sheikah eye symbol is on the top of the Forsaken Fortress. I don't see it there. I'll trust them though. It's also one of the only 2 dungeons without a warp jar. Oh. I think that like Skull has multiple entrances and exits, given the fact that the interior is also considered to be a dungeon itself. Belongs to the Great Sea overworld for this same reason. The first and only dungeon in the game whose boss fought is defeated. Huh. That's interesting. Multiple engine. Dungeon itself belongs to the Great Sea. Second time it wasn't an effect on the first visit map because it was designed to allow Link to see. Okay, so even when the ship is destroyed after infiltrating the fortress for the second time, it wasn't affected on the first visit map. This is 9. Windfall Island. Trying to attempt to save Ariel due to the wind. I don't know what that means. My comprehension's awful. The tune that plays as Link is thrown in jail also plays in the Four Sword Adventures. I love that. Despite the seagulls appearing over Ariel's room, Link is not able to get to them using the Hoi pair. I want to learn more about the Great Flood. This is what I'm counting. This is the meat of what I want to see here. Congruent video. I don't know what that means. That means one person's hanging out with me. Scuffed animal review, loving it. Versus the view, total review while live. Okay, so this is at the moment. Well, thanks for sticking out with this. Okay, so many generations after the departure of the hero of time, the seal of the 7 sages begin to weaken for unknown reasons, and Ganondorf managed to escape. Make good on his threat. Okay. I guess a seal can't last forever. Through the darkness covered the land, prayed that the hero of time would once again come to save him. Well, not at the expense of yourself. You know, I understand your sanity needs to be spared as well. So, you know, I appreciate the sacrifice you're making for me. Truly. But again, I don't want any undue harm come to you from this nonsense. Okay, so the attempted to use his magic to stop Ganondorf, but failed. Left with no other choice, the people pleaded for the 3 golden goddesses, who then flooded. So I'm going to flee the mountaintops, which is why there's only like a few places that actually have land and villages now, because those are the ones that peek through. You know, that's the crazy thing. If you really do have an ocean beneath you, you really don't know what's under there. I mean, I doubt like an Atlantis exists, but I mean, there's no way for those people to have known that a whole land, and you just forget over, you know, the centuries, whatever, how much time is between these. Okay, I already infiltrated Hyrule Castle because that's why it's frozen in time when you get there. That's kind of cool. And gotta steal the kingdom with an enchanted air chamber because they have to make sure that the Deus Ex Machina. Okay, so it froze everything. Going to build a new civilization on the Great Sea. They just forgot about it because, again, it's just not in your collective memory. Well, the video game seem pretty saturated, so I don't know. It is fun though. I just like to kind of make videos for the fun of it. It's always a bummer though when like a video just gets like 16 views right out of the gate, which is why I'm gonna start making like 3-minute videos instead. Try a few different methods. You know, because I'm still such a new channel. No one wants to watch. I realize no one wants to watch 8 to 10 minutes of me talking. But maybe in time. Okay, so after centuries, the initial flood broke, and then that made him want to come back. But he had to find his princess again to get all 3 of them. Okay. So, yeah, obviously it's a reference to the floods from real life. Yeah, I know they always say like niche down or whatever, but at the end of the day, you should just make what you want to make. I mean, I almost plan on making a second channel. Oh no, what did I just delete? I don't know if I was ready to delete that one. What was it? Yeah, I'll get back to it, whatever. Definitely gonna get the Sheikah coming up here though. Alright. Great floods, we'll see you for a little while. Okay. That's a good point. That's a great way to like diversify, is to actually bring in like fictional animals. That's really smart. "17 views, King of the Hill channel video sitting at." I had a good time making that. I'm excited for this new process. I hope the quality can increase and just cut out a lot of the fat. Okay, so this golden rune, the holy world connected to the land of Hyrule. That's cool. Okay, hold on. I gotta look at some of these artworks first. God, that cutscene always like hyped me up as a kid. Not having like YouTube to like see certain cutscenes that would only appear when you got to a certain point of the game always made it way more special. Because like you had to enjoy it that one time, and then it was gone. Oh, so sad. Okay. Once we get to the hearts, I feel like that's how you know it's over. It can, but I don't think you should ever like expect that. I just realized I have to contemporize a little bit more. The people who already like made King of the Hill content like 5 years ago, that's already been done. I actually do have a plan for SpongeBob that I'm not going to spoil for the one person who's going to get this far into the video, but I actually do have stuff planned for SpongeBob. But I'm going to try to contemporize a little bit more with like some newer stuff. Especially like some kid shows nowadays are like way top notch. Yeah, sometimes I go on like the NewTubers like subreddit and like people like talk about like hating the process, and it's like, well then I don't know what you're doing. I just make videos because it's like I have nothing better to do with my time and it's fun. And I used to like make Flash cartoons on Newgrounds when I was like in high school. So just like editing and like writing kind of gives me that same feeling that it did when I was like in high school. Like I said, like animating on Newgrounds. The omnipotent. Let's get a definition for omnipotent for us who need a little grammar reflection. A deity having unlimited power, able to do anything. So it's the Triforce is able to do anything. The omnipotent under the protection of the goddess Hylia. The era of chaos. There's so much to read here. Okay. So, okay, and the resting place of the temple was isolated from the, being the only entrance. The sacred realm would serve as a mirror to reflect the heart of anyone who would enter it. Okay, if that person's heart was pure, the realm would become a paradise. Well, that's just, yeah, classic, reading the heart. What if you're just an average person just did it? Because I don't think I have pure of heart. I'm definitely not, like, evil heart, so I'm curious what that would happen. I don't think it's a bad subreddit. I think there's some good advice there every once in a while. You have to take everything with a grain of salt there. I don't know. Because I don't know enough about like Lord of the Rings to make that comparison. But it's omnipotent, which means it has ultimate power. Which always did confuse me kind of as a kid. Because it just never seemed that, like, I don't know. I guess because they never show anybody have all three of them. It's always, like, separated. You know, it always has a, like, bit of mystery behind it. So you can always you just use your imagination of what it can and cannot do. But it's omnipotent, which means it can do anything, I guess. Sacred Realm makes several appearances throughout the series. By the in-game appearance, A Link to the Past, the Golden Land of the Triforce, which was corrupted into the foreboding Dark World. That was cool. The story of the Sacred Realm is later expanded upon in the Ocarina of Time. It's been created by the three golden goddesses. Yep, shortly after there. Then the evil Gerudo King, seeks to as a result, the legend speaking of the comes into true when Ganondorf touches the. Okay, so as a result, the legend. So Link opens the door of time, which then allows Ganondorf to walk into the Sacred Realm. But when he touches it, it shatters it. Transformation into the Dark World, and that's the thing. Like it never seemed like that crazy of a transformation. I mean, yeah, Hyrule City or town or whatever was in disarray, but it never seemed that bad. I mean, whatever. See what? Okay. The Sacred Realm then makes another appearance in the story of the Twilight Princess, which speaks how the answers to the Twili, the dark interlopers, attempted to break into the Sacred Realm and claim the signpost for themselves. That sparked the Civil War. And that's got bloodshed. Okay, that is cool. In the era of chaos. I think if you're just trying to get rich from the Triforce, you're missing like the true like what it can like really craft for you. So like riches won't even matter. You could choose the currency, I think, of a country. You could make currencies to be like, you could change it from like the dollar to like ripe apples. Like you have omnipotent powers. So like you literally can craft the world as you see fit. Many years after the events of Skyward Sword, there was an era of chaos. I have that. I gotta have that. I'll just put it up there just to be safe. Fighting over the Triforce that was located in the Sacred Realm to put the end to the war, the ancient Saint Araru built over the remains of the Sealed Temple, a new Temple of Time, which contained the only entrance to the Sacred Realm. Okay, so using the Master Sword and the three spiritual stones as the key, this temple was sanctioned gateway between the two. The Triforce from evildoers who seek to misuse. Inside the Temple of Time is a chamber that houses the Master Sword and the Pedestal of Time. However, the entrance to this chamber is sealed. You need everything there. Where the sacred Triforce lies within there somewhere. Okay, so that was prior to that, and then it makes the next appearance where it takes place many centuries prior to A Link to the Past. Okay. The game begins at a time when the Sacred Realm has never been successfully opened because they just built it, and the only known gateway to the Temple of Time. Also shows the origins and the backstory to the Link to the Past, where he's depicted fittingly as the leader. Okay, yeah, the Sacred Realm is first seen by the Deku Tree. Tells the story, creation of, okay. Legend of the Triforce. Okay, so the seal between them is finally broken when he gets there and he goes back in time. He went there to try to protect them, but the mighty stone barrier, I'm going to say stone infused with magic. Well, I guess speedrunners could just hop right behind it, so good thing Ganondorf never watched ZFG, or he'd be just hopping right through that door. Okay, the pedestal time, mythical, opening the portal, but it's put into suspended animation because he can't wield the sword yet. Okay, then Ganondorf watches in there. Okay, causing the power to radiate. Link never visits the area. Yeah, we just get there. Okay. to pug fur. That would be so cute. Pugs are so cute. I wish I had land for more dogs. But my dog's lucky that I get to hang out with him as much as I can. Yeah, I have a mixed relationship with speedrunning. I think it's super fun to watch at times. But I just think it's so funny that, like, there's literally people who are, like, the best at a video game. Like, you never, before, like, speedrunning, you never really thought, like, oh, someone could be, like, the best Mario 64 player in the world. But then it's like, no, there are legitimately, these are the best Mario 64 people. That is the dream. There's either YouTube can help fund that, or it's going to be the distraction that makes you never be able to retire early. You know, if I put as much time into, like, YouTube videos, I'm sure, as if I, like, actually went to get, like, a master's degree, who knows? And that's not to, you know, crap all over your YouTube channel's dreams, because I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. I should not. Oh my god. It's good to have a hobby. It's good to have a hobby, but, you know, I'm not advocating to work all the time with anything. I'm just saying that, you know, if you put your time into other things, you know, that have, like, a higher rate of paying off, are realistic when a man can dream. I'm right there with you. You know, I like to go to bed thinking one of my videos is gonna blow up and I can be, like, making $500 a video. But that's the thing, you know, YouTube is just like a marathon, you know, it's just about putting in one video at a time. Okay, so towards the end of the game, Princess Zelda finally reveals that, oh no, that explains exactly what happened. Invasion, according to the legend, the resting place of the sacred triangle is a mirror that reflects. Yeah, okay, we already read that. That one heart of purity will be fine. Purity. However, yeah, okay. The Triforce will separate into 3 components. Okay. And leaving only the part representing the force that one most believes in and transforming the sacred realm into... Okay, so it becomes evil, it gets separated, so hopefully it can get back together. Only when this evil is utterly defeated or gets all of the pieces. In the conclusion, the 7 sages, with the assistance of the hero of time, are able to overthrow Ganondorf back into the sacred realm and turning the evil realm. Using the Master Sword, he's able to stun. Yada. Okay, and then happily ever after, it goes back in his hand. Wait, so Ganondorf screams that as long as... Oh, he still has it in his hand. That is interesting. This is supposedly the seal that Ganon is attempting to break, and a link to the past as it prevented him from being able to return to Hyrule. The game ends with the Triforce. Okay, yeah, that's why he still has it. So then, in the Sacred Realm, the Golden Land, where wish granting, it is said to have been a beautiful sky. One where the sky shined gold rather than blue. According to the Ocarina of Time cutscenes. The Temple of Light. Okay, so during the Downfall timeline, that's where Link fails. Despite his best efforts, he's defeated by Ganondorf, which, good on ya. You know, he did well in the final battle. That's such a bummer to get all the way that far and get defeated. Alright, okay, so, and what's subsequently? So he gets both of them, and subsequently sealed within the corrupted sacred realm by the 7 sages, obtaining the true power of the complete Triforce. He's transferred to the Demon King, and a desperate last resort, the 7 sages seal Ganon along with the complete Triforce with the sacred realm, which is already transformed into the Dark World as a reflection of his evil heart. Hyrule enjoys a brief period of peace, but as rumors spread of the golden power laying in the sacred realm, many greedy people traveled, so they really didn't need Link to begin with in the Downfall. I mean, it sucks that he has all the pieces, but if people weren't greedy, he would have been stuck there, but whatever. seeking it, but never to return. Within the Dark World, they were transformed into monsters. Whoa! But by the power of the Triforce, became part of Ganon's army. Now that's cool. From there, he launched an invasion. So he just slowly grabbed soldiers, and was that was repelled by the Knights of Hyrule and the 7 Wise Men. The Wise Men then sealed the gate to the Golden Land, and Ganondorf had discovered, locking him away with the now tainted Sacred Realm. The Imprisoning War. Oh, clearly that didn't work. Are you saying that you show, like, animal junk? You cuss too much and show revealing parts of the animals. I don't know. I don't think cussing and, like, animal genitalia is enough to, like, get you not monetized. I guess it depends on what you're cussing and saying ultimately. So, but I feel like a few F-bombs ain't gonna get you the banhammer. But what do I know? I've got not even close to the requirements needed. So I would not even know. Okay, so the Golden Land remained corrupted under Ganon's rule for many generations. I do check off not for kids. Yeah. No, you definitely should always check off not for kids. Otherwise, unless it's specifically for kids. like Blippi and other things. I mean, people say things and they don't mean to get themselves canceled a lot of time. That's the thing that the conservatives will go after, be like, oh, you can't say anything without getting canceled. But yeah, a lot of times, like, my little thing I said where I'm the reason why Americans shouldn't get free healthcare, like, that taken the wrong way or put on the wrong thing, that can get you someone canceled. I mean, people like strong opinions. So yeah, if you do, like, say controversial things, people are going to be drawn to it, whether they agree with it, disagree. People just like strong opinions. The Golden Land remained corrupted for many generations as he built up his army, known as the Dark World. Eventually, he enacted a scheme. I love schemes. To break the seal between the worlds and free himself from the Dark World. A new hero raises to stop this plot, and the hero Link is drawn into the Dark World, formerly the Golden Land, by the Dark Wizard Agahnim, who was serving as a vessel for Ganon's soul in the Light World. Oh my god, this is why you need to defeat him. Upon his first visit to the Dark World, he discovers that he is a curse of the transformation. Okay. The Moon Pearl. So if anybody who doesn't have the Moon Pearl turns into like a crazy, weird thing. Link scours this evil realm and frees his descendants from the 7 maidens, 7 wise men. Finally faces Ganon at the Pyramid Counter. He ultimately defeats him with the power of the Master Sword. And then Link is introduced to the essence of the Triforce, because he does get the Triforce. Okay, so that's like good reverse storytelling, I guess, from like Nintendo. I mean, I guess the whole Zelda timeline thing, kind of like retroactively got made. And I don't know if it's even like 100% confirmed yet, but in this timeline, Ganondorf killed, Zelda and Ocarina of Time Link. He got all the pieces, so that's why at the end of A Link to the Past, Link gets all 3 pieces. The people who, like, the fans that actually, like, crafted this story, probably did such a good job. I think it might be canon now, but like I said, I think mostly Zelda games are supposed to just be like a tale. That's why it's the Legend of Zelda. Okay, so he gets so the essence letter explains that Triforce has resided before Ganon found his way into the realm, causing the Dark World. It goes on to explain, will now await a new master, and that the Dark World will vanish entirely upon the new master's wish, before going on to instruct Link to touch the Triforce with the wish of his heart. Link touches the Triforce and wishes all Ganon's evil to be undone, which returns peace and prosperity to the land of Hyrule. You got him. Okay, so A Link Between Worlds, which is like the sequel, it makes a brief appearance, only has a tiny portion of the realm. Well, yeah, that's like the only thing it shows. Despite its restoration, A Link to the Past, which should have turned the skies golden. Well, that's just... okay, people being unrealistic. It also established at this time that Lorule has its own version of the Sacred Realm, and a parallel version of this area is shown in Hyrule. There exists a large cracked tablet that serves as a link between two worlds. Princess Hilda utilizes the tablet along with Ravio's bracelet to send Link and Zelda back to Hyrule. The tablet is destroyed. Lorule. Oh, it's Hyrule and Lorule. I forgot. Okay. So then we get Twilight Princess. I wonder what timeline we're in now. Get another appearance. The Light Spirit Lanaru. When it comes to the land, Lana, Hyrule, I can't. The Land Province. In search for the final fragment. Okay, so the story of the interlopers. Okay, so in this story, the creation of Hyrule by the Golden Goddess. Speaking of its beauty, descended upon the chaotic world and granted peace and life to the world they once granted equal power to all living beings. They returned to a land in the heavens and came to be known as the Sacred Realm. For ages, the people lived in content in mind and body, but soon word of the Sacred Realm spread across the world along with the wish-granting Triforce it contained. Tales spoke of the Triforce could make mortal dreams come true and it would grant the wishes, yada yada yada, okay. Then a group of powerful sorcerers, the Dark Interlopers, attempted to seize control of it, okay, take it by their own means, sparking a civil war in Hyrule. There's a lot of civil wars here in this country. As the war dragged on, 4 light spears intervened at the behest of the Golden Goddess, okay, chasing the Dark Interlopers out across Hyrule into the Twilight, locking them into the Twilight Realm and shattering the fused shadows into 4 fragments. Separated, okay, gotcha. At this time, the Interlopers would go into a gentler race in the form of the Twilly. Linos finished this tale by warning those that do not get the... Okay, that's kind of cool that they just kind of chill out in time and become that. Okay. I like how I have, like, people coming in and then just, like, literally leaving probably, like, right away. Just noping right out. I don't blame them. Okay, so the Temple of Light is the mighty temple located at the center of the Sacred Realm. And it's become the resting place there. Yep, during the... Earl's personal history remains to be shrouded in mystery. He came to... But he just depicted as the guardian of the Temple of Light. Yeah, no, you can't really expect people to care. I really don't. Even if you weren't here, this is basically what I would do, just with less getting on tangents of whatever we're talking about. Like I said, just all this is just for fun. I'm loving hanging out with you though. This is fun. Placed Ganondorf's power rated and transfer Hyrule World Shadows. Yeah, okay, Sacred World. That's not bad. Well, the TikTok thing, you never know what's going to blow up on TikTok, you know. Well, it's still impressive because I definitely could probably not get 2 million views on TikTok. It's just so funny that, like, it's almost like how different currencies have different, like, exchange rates. Like, 75 followers on Twitch, I feel like that's, like, the equivalency of having, like 25K, like, subscribers on YouTube. But I feel like a 2 million view, like, TikTok, like 2 million view TikTok is like having, like, a YouTube video that hits, like, 10 to, like, 50,000 views. It's just funny, like, different social media, like I said, had, like, different conversion rates, I would say. But 75 followers on Twitch, that's pretty legit. Okay, it's best known for being the Sanctioned Gateway. Okay, so constructed after the era of Chaos. And it's the seal. Okay. The Dark World. So the Sacred Realm was actually toured in gameplay in A Link to the Past. Okay, so you actually play in the Sacred Realm as the Dark World in that game. That's really cool. Okay. Before game is a conclusion in the Dark World. Okay, so a copy of that one meant to serve a game as wish as the rule of the world. It was filled with evil creatures and spirits. Power. The Dark World was plagued by dark skies and a very air as poisonous as fumes. As a mirror to Hyrule, the Dark World features similar locales, though typically inverted to reflect the darkness of the world. For example, Kakariko Village of the Light World was replaced in the Dark World by the Village of Outcasts. Oh, that's cool. In the Light World of Pontin Mountain, Ganon Castle. Okay, so the Japanese, the land of Hyrule is referred to as the Sacred Realm. Wait. Okay. I can't read that Lanaru word. That's cool. Do people, like, from TikTok, like, actually come to, like, become, like, actual watchers of, like, the content in general? Because I feel like that's one of the hard things is to, like, get them to, like, leave TikTok. It's like, you know, if you, that's not bad. But like I said, like, can you, get them to actually watch your videos? Because if you can actually get them to, like, go to your YouTube, subscribe it, and then actually come back to watch your videos on YouTube, like, that's awesome. That's hard to do. Yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing about it. It's like a slow and steady kind of climb. And I can already see that kind of like in my videos that I've been posting. But like I said, I gotta contemporize a lot more. I like my little thumbnail that I made. I'm checking. Now that we're talking about YouTube video stuff, I'm trying to see if my King of the Hill one got like another view. Nope. Still sitting there at about 50% average watch rate. That's okay. And that's a good way to tease it, yeah. Just have a part of it and be like, watch the rest on my YouTube channel. Okay, so the backstory. So when the three gods of old departed from the world and created, they entrusted the protection of the world to Triforce. They did so through the era of the goddess of Hylia, met person. The sailcloth. Okay. Oh, okay, that's where you get the sailcloth. Yes. And that's, I remember that. The demonic king demise. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. Just to put popcorn in the oven, or microwave. I'll be right back. Ugh. Okay, let's see how good my retention. Let's see if I can time this perfectly, where it doesn't get burnt. All right, see ya. Bye. I'm trying to have work tomorrow, but I found this channel and see like Zelda 6 sobbing. I appreciate it. Yeah, you came right when I walked away. I can't believe it. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew the moment that I went to go get frickin' something. Thank you, Jerry. I hope I wasn't gone right when you joined. I knew that was gonna happen. I'm so mad at myself. Anyways, the Demon King Demise and his demonic hordes came from a fissure that had opened. Wanting to make the world his own, Demise gathered an army of monsters and attacked the surface. Okay. To prevent the Triforce from falling into Demise's possession, Hylia gathered the surviving human as an outcrop of Earth? Oh, never mind. Surviving humans on an outcrop of Earth. The Triforce and set them into the sky and away from evil. After sending her people away, the goddess created a cloud barrier that separated. All right, later. Thanks for coming by. Watch the VOD if you'd like. After sending people away with surviving humans safe above the clouds, the goddesses and the 5 tribes who still live on the surface sealed Demise away. Well, since he's leaving, I'm going to check on my popcorn now. Okay, let me know if popcorn is the most obnoxious snack you can have while streaming. You know, these are the things I'm going to learn slowly but surely. Okay. The Giddy Run. I love popcorn. It's probably my favorite snack. But, like, I don't think it's a good, probably, streaming snack. Oh, my Rick and Morty jammies on. Okay, so there's the 5 tribes that's still on the surface. Sealed away demise and the former... I want to know what the 5 tribes are. I'm surprised that's not giving me a link. Okay. Restoring peace to the land. Okay, the goddess chosen hero. During the battle, Hylia suffered injuries and knew that the seal would not hold against Demise power. Because of this, she formed 2 plans to end the Demon King. Her first plan consisted of creating Fi, the spirit that resides in the goddess sword, and give it the purpose of assisting the chosen hero throughout his journey. Hylia then abandoned her powers in divinity in order to transfer her soul and body of a mortal. Whoa! So the Triforce was created by the gods, but not usable one could be used. I mean, I sadly have to start going back in the office a little bit coming up, and I'm so sad to have to put away the Xmas jammies part-time. There really is nothing better than just like working and just having the jammies on. Okay, so yeah, she leaves several messages that Fi sings along. Creates trials. After completing each trial, the chosen hero would receive one of the 3 gifts left by Hylia. These were really lame gifts. Like, one was like the ability to swim, which I guess if you don't have like a pond to like practice in the sky, they don't really have that. You don't really play Skyward Sword, but like literally one of the things like gifts is like the ability to swim, which is just ridiculous. Just knowledge of swimming. If you already knew that how to swim, then I guess you would just... I guess it was really extreme swimming, though. Now I take a... Like, it was, like, crazy long. You could, like, hold your breath and do some, like, crazy, like, swim and stuff, so... I might concede that point. To keep the Triforce from falling to the wrong hands, Hylia hid the relic on Skyloft within Sky Keep, but the location was kept secret. The goddess appointed a dragon to protect each region's surface. Okay, each guardian was left there as part of the Song of Hero melody that would unlock the final trial for the chosen hero, and the Hylian enlisted the guardians to teach them. Okay, yeah. And then, yeah, Hylia, literally the god, was eventually reborn to Zelda, and Link is her chosen hero, and Zelda was not actually aware of the previous existence as a goddess until she was tossed out of the sky. And is it here that an old is it? I feel like that's an error. Is it here that an old woman rescued Zelda from being captured by Zelda and forces and helped her remember her original purpose in life as the goddess Hylia? With a young Impa's help, who was actually sent out to help Zelda at the request of the goddess? Zelda sent out to pray at the goddess statue located at each temple across the surface to purify her body, which each memory stirring up things of her past life. At one point, Zelda and Impa travel through the Great Time into the past, with Impa destroying the gate to escape Girahim's grasp, who wishes to use Zelda's soul to resurrect his master. Link, the goddess's chosen hero, manages to activate the Gate of Time and goes to where they sealed away Demise. There, Link meets with Zelda and explains everything. She blesses the Master Sword with the power of the goddess, causing it to take on its true form before telling Link that she is the reincarnation of Hylia, must remain in a deep sleep to keep Demise imprisoned within a seal. Before doing so, Zelda explains that the goddess needed someone with an unbreakable spirit to defeat Demise. However, Zelda realized that the spirit alone was enough, and the goddess, knowing that the hero would throw himself headfirst into danger without even a moment's doubt. So basically, she just knew that somebody would, like, want to protect her. I almost wanted to say like simp and white knight, but I don't want to perpetuate those kind of terminologies. And at a time like this, but basically that's what he did. She basically knew that guys would want to like white knight for her, so she had to make that instrument. She was very, very ahead of her time. Okay, so Link then succeeds, obtaining the Triforce, wishes for the destruction of Demise, rushes there to the sealed temple, watches Zelda's awakening. But just as the group believes that Link's quest is finally over, attacks Zelda and the healing to the name. When he begins the ritual to revive Demise, who is sealed in the area, by having absorbed the soul of Zelda, he has his troops attack Link to keep the hero at bay while he works. But Link manages to reach the center and fights Girahim, successfully defeating him. Then while the two were fighting, the ritual continued, of course. Okay. So after Link seals Demise conscious within the sword, as he beats him, Peach returns to the land, and Zelda, as well as the hero, return to their own time. Zelda mentions to Link that she has fantasized about the surface for so long that she wants to remain here and watch over the Triforce. Aww. In the future, Link smiles at her, and the camera pans while swings flying back into the sky, implying that Link chose to stay with her. That makes sense. I mean, it is very anime-y. I think Zelda at the core is very anime-ish. Like Ocarina of Time does have a manga. And I feel like the way every woman in Ocarina of Time like fawns over him, it's just a harem anime manga or whatever. Okay, so the people who live among Hylia would known to become Hylians, and the descendants of her mortal incarnation Zelda would go on to establish them upon the surface. So it sounds like it's like an Adam and Eve sort of situation going on here, where Link and Zelda like populated the planet, unless more people eventually came down. Okay, so we're going on and upon the surface, in the era of prosperity, became the long-lasting royal family bloodline inherited for the powers. Future women born in the royal blood would frequently be named after the mortal incarnation of the general. Humans, it would like named after the Great Guardians. Okay, that makes sense. Hylia is also present in the Breath of the Wild. Some locations appear to be named after her. Okay. I think some of the later games get more deep. And I think a lot of this is just like people piecing things together, like fans. Like, the kids grow up, they want to find more meaning in it, and then they can kind of like piece the story together. But I do think Skyward Sword did have a pretty big like story. And then I don't know. Like I said, it's insane what fans who love their series can like piece together. Ambiguously canon information. What does that even mean? There's no specific what this is considered canon in Zelda Wiki. Okay, so this is ambiguous. So this one might not be canon. Okay, as Hylian is ready to battle against the Mice and his army, the goddess Hyrule suddenly appears riding on an old Loftwing. Link reveals himself as the Knight of Hylia and the hero whom they sought. He claims that, although humanity may seem small in the eyes of the gods, there are those among them who will possess great courage. He acknowledges her knight's unmatched valiance and honor and proclaims him the chosen hero. She allows him to wield her legendary weapon brought by the gods, the Master Sword. However, the hero claims that he could not touch the sword, thinking he is impure because he was in prison for years. Oh, this is a Skyward Sword manga. Okay. Okay. Decides that he will always stand with the friends and accepts the Master Sword. After reforging the sword, the hero agrees to lead the goddess' army against the invading demon, but is mortally wounded. They cover with the might. With no other choice, Hylia and the hero uses the power of the Master Sword to send the earth surrounding the castle to the sky. Okay, so that's just like the story of that. Okay. I mean, there is just a lot of rich character, and, you know, you make a game for 25 years now, there's gonna be, like, some semblance of, like, story and lore, especially because they just reuse so many of the same characters and themes so many times. It's just, over time, you're just gonna expand more without even meaning to. And again, that's my favorite thing about the Zelda series. Or just Nintendo in general, is just how they always just keep recycling things in a good way. I don't think everyone likes it, but I just think it allows them to continue to expand on everything. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright. Well, I got a lot of tabs open, so we gotta start working on... there's so many cool things that I want to do. Okay, so let's close some of these ones I'm not looking at anymore. I want to look at the Sheikah. Okay, so I already did her. The Zelda timeline. I do, but I don't want to get into that yet. But I'm not going to close that tab. Oh, I see. They just did it a few times. Yeah, those are just rehashes. But, I mean, at least with like Mario Kart, they try to push things, I think, a little bit different. But at the end of the day, what are you going to be able to do different with Mario Kart? I mean, you know, you can't be too different. Oh, you want a rehash of the other games. Okay, yeah, well, that's what you get. But I hear that the new Pokemon game wasn't too bad. I haven't played it yet. Okay, I definitely want to get into the Zelda timeline. But really... Animal Crossing. Imprisoning War. So, okay, I'm not going to do low roll, so that makes it easy. Village of Outcasts. That's quick, okay. Not considered canon. Well, yeah, I doubt Zelda.com is canon. I didn't play that one, but that would be very weird. But you know what? I guess you have to try to stream. Or sorry, you know, try things. Here I am streaming, and I think it got me 1 new subscriber, maybe. So I think that's, you know, if Mario Party got 1 more fan because of that car mechanic, then who knows? Yep, they got 1 more subscriber from this. So you never know what experimenting will do for you. Okay. God, I love this popcorn so much. I like slowly... Oh, yeah. If I get 1 new sub a video, I'm stoked. I'm slowly getting more popcorn, like, and more frequently I'm getting it. Like, at first it was just, like, 1 kernel at a time. But now I'm just going in for big chunkfuls. Alright, so let's do the Sheikah first. Or... Sheikah, the Sheikahs. Do you not have the 4,000 watch hours yet? I mean, 4,000 watch hours is kind of hard. Yeah, 4,000 watch hours is the hard thing. This year or a lifetime? The Sheikah, also known as the Shadow Folk, are a race of humanoid beings. The Legend of Zelda series, they're a mysterious and secretive tribe. Pointed ears, red eyes, and shadowy magic abilities. They are guardians of the goddess Hylia, who were sent to be the protectors of the descendants of her mortal incarnation, the royal family. They excel in mobility and jumping, specialized hand-to-hand combat. They have enhanced their technical capabilities. Yeah, I forgot they do have all those like Sekiro slates and whatnot. They found a Kakariko village, one of the main settlements in Hyrule. So they get a lot of mention in like Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess. Oh yeah, but they've only appeared in Breath of the Wild. Impa was the only previous confirmed member. While much of their tribe is shrouded in history is shrouded in mystery, one recurring reminder of their connections is the symbol with the gossip stones. And having mystery, you want to have stuff with mystery. You don't want, like that symbol came from Ocarina of Time, probably before, maybe even before, maybe not. But my first videos are like, yeah, I did too. I realized I was talking on the wrong end of the mic. But it's so cool. Yeah, I realized I was talking on the wrong end of the mic for like my first like 10, 12 videos, and that was embarrassing. But, you start by just like adding something like the Gossip Stone or like the Lens of Truth or just like other symbols like that. And you don't expand on it right away, but then you just like let it simmer and like the mystery kind of builds itself. And then one day you just, slowly continue to release more information, and I think it's really cool. All Sheikahs in Breath of the Wild have white hair. Okay. True relationship between the Sheikah and the Hylian race is unknown. For example, their alter ego. Okay. Name. Okay. Well, she is the Princess Zelda, so I think if anyone's allowed to cosplay as them, it's the one that, she is the one they were sworn to protect. So they were originally chosen by the goddess to serve the guardians. Okay. Princess returned to Hyrule Castle for her own safety in Oracle of Seasons and Ages and protecting her from the clutches of Ganondorf. She could have their own writing script featured in Breath of the... Okay, yeah. The existence of the Sheikah are often kept secret for those without a connection to the royal family, as they are the best coverts. Yep. Staunchly loyal, fulfilling any task without question or concern. That's questionable. Yeah, they're like... Well, there's two different ninja people. There's the ninja people that you face. I think they're called like the Yagis or something like that. We'll have to look it up in a little bit. But these are like the good ninjas. But there are like bad ninjas that you fight in the desert as well. Live longer than humans, with Impa and them all being in their hundreds and 20s. That's Robbie longer than Hylians by only a few decades. Okay, so they do live longer, but not too much. Our monks live for thousands. Whoa, wait. Impa and Skyward Sword and the monks in Breath of the Wild have lived for thousands of years, but seem to be sustained by magic as they fade away into the light. Oh. Now I can quickly eat my popcorn without feeling stupid. Okay. The eye symbol is an insignia. God, I love popcorn so much. I'm gonna get some water. Okay. I just need to finish all the popcorn so I won't eat it anymore. Because when it's still there, I'm just going to want to keep eating it. Okay, so the open eye, the Sheikah symbol reveals the search for the truth. And that teardrop represents how the Sheikah live in the shadow of the royal family and will go to any lengths to achieve a goal. Ward off evil. Well, that's kind of cool. Okay, so in more than one instance throughout the series, there have been legends passed down by the Sheikah tribe that have been discussed in different games, ranging from Ocarina of Time to Twilight Princess. Two of these legends are featured in the Ocarina of Time, one featuring the prophecy of the hero of time and a quest to find the sages that dwell in the 5 temples scattered across Hyrule, the other being a previous unknown legend of the Triforce of the Sacred Realm that explained what became both after Ganondorf penetrated. You only missed me stuffing my face with popcorn. It was embarrassing. The third legend featuring the Twilight Princess, rise of sky beings known as the Oka, telling their civilization. Okay. So, it implies that they were nearly wiped out defending the royal family again in that Hyrulean civil war. Okay, I gotta look at the timeline next. The primary member of the tribe featured in the game is Impa. Yeah, okay. Wandered as Shadow Sages like Sheik, Princess Zelda disguised herself. Likewise, Sheik, Princess Zelda disguised herself as a Sheikah. It is also featured. Assists in the hero time looking in the 5 temples. Sheik tracks Link. Okay, Swarp Song. Yeah, just because one thing's louder, though, doesn't mean that this is probably not obnoxious. Was that her in Twilight Princess? Okay. Hakugo Village. Sheikah settlement before Impa, who was born and raised there, opening up to the poor folk of Ariel. So the graveyard behind the village is actually the resting place. Where does the Kakarikians get buried? Historical place used by the Sheikah to interrogate or otherwise harm enemies of the royal family. Yeesh. Because of the dark strain on Hyrule's history that it represents, it is taboo for the royal family to speak at the Shadow Temple. So don't address it, just don't speak about it. That is cool. I would love to hear more about this area. I should probably spend more time making my audio sound good as well. There's a lot of reasons people don't watch my videos all the way through. And half of it's probably my audio. Okay. While Twilight Princess does not feature any confirmed Sheikah, it does feature one character who is implied to be a member of the tribe, Impaz. Old woman who resides. Does she have red eyes? Looks like she has red eyes. I would assume so. Okay. Tried to enter the Forgotten Hidden Village and professes that her name is a homage to the town's father. A sign over the Hidden Village when translated to Hylian reads, "Welcome to Old Kakariko." Oh, that is definitely... That is definitely Kakariko Village. Okay. This is supposedly a statement made by Impasse saying the village was once proud people that protected the Hylian. Okay, so I feel like that's way more than applied then. Okay, so Goron. Look at those nips. Mentioned that the statue belonged to the tribe protecting the royal people, and they dwindled in the prolonged wars. The wooden statue. Okay, I did start adding the base onto mine, and I do hear a noticeable difference. Audibly, that's like the most stupid side that I am. Like anything that deals with sounds, I feel like my thumbnail making is like halfway decent. And I can do, I put like little animations in my videos because I have like a small like a brief background with animation. But anything that it does with audio, I'm just so bad. Yeah, I wish I knew more science behind audio, and I could probably learn on YouTube, but just so much effort. I'd rather make YouTube videos and slowly learn, but that's probably the stupider way to do it. It's probably better to like focus on learning everything that you can to make the best video first, and then start making videos, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, Guardians, Impa. Appears as both old. Okay, yeah, She's the one there. She's the old woman because and the young woman that carries Zelda around because it's a time. She has the left eye tattooed with 3 white marks. That's the symbol for this is obvious, even though the white hair is common characteristic. Quality standards. They have quality standards. Okay. This seems pretty like in depth though. I mean, it has the longest section, but whatever. Breath of the Wild, the Sheikah described as an advanced civilization. Okay, at the first Great Calamity, 10,000 years ago, their technological power became viewed as a threat to the kingdom and thus put them at odds with the king. Kato mentions that the Sheikah were exiled. That sucks. Some decades, some decided to cast off their technological advances to live normal lives. The Yiga clan, there we go, are a group of Sheikah who have sworn allegiance to the Calamity Ganon and seek to destroy all those who stand against them. So there you go. The Yiga and the Sheikah, kind of one and the same. Oh, signatures on forums. Those were good days. Final Cut has a pretty decent way to make animations. Very simple animations. The yin and the yang. Exactly. The yin and the yaga. Yiga. Okay, so yeah. They're spearheaded by Master Koga. So they do look the same. Many members don't have the distinctive red eyes. But I guess you just don't. I feel like I'm just kind of lazy not to have everybody white. I'm surprised they don't have everybody have the red eyes. It's kind of disappointing. Diversity does occur within the race. Or maybe they just lived in the desert for so long. It slowly changed. You know, I mean, depending on how long they've been sacrificed or separated for, you know, climate and like temperature and like, you know, environment does shape, you know, what we look like. Okay, so it's said to have disappeared long ago. Remnants of them and their technology still exist in Hyrule, like the ancient shrines, the Sheikah towers. I guess even depending on when in the timeline, they made the gossip stones, obviously. Okay, the script. Alright, so you make the resurrection, the spirit orbs. Oh, wait, are they the ones? Oh, so are they the ones? So they're the ones that you get the orbs from, I guess. The shrines and tower meets the respective ancient Sheikah monks. Oh, those were like kind of creepy looking. I mean, they gotta be dead. But like in a spiritual way, kind of like how the 7 sages were dead. But yeah, they always look like so cool and creepy. Like uniformity. Okay, yeah, they all kind of look the same. Those are completely waterproof and even ward off lightning. Wow. Some have adopted head-mounted umbrellas, which go outside to protect from the rain. But only allowed to be worn by Sheikah. So Hylians such as Link or cannot purchase or even borrow them. That's funny. The monks do not wear this, instead opting for simple tan trousers. Kind of, I guess. I love the manga stuff. So in the manga, it didn't have the tier, but it changed long ago when active betrayal on the part of the royal family had occurred, resulting in the banishment of the Sheikah tribe from the kingdom of Hyrule from long ago to commemorate this event. So they were so sad that they're basically the people that they were forced to sacrifice their lives over, like told them to leave them alone. They, instead of like developing their own personalities, they just got really sad about it. All right, I feel like we have to jump into this actual Zelda timeline to really kind of get a grasp. Oh, this is a really long one though. All right, but I feel like this is gonna give us a lot of context here. Okay, so those are the first ones. Okay. Okay, as we know, we're about to find out. We're about to find out. I think Nintendo, like, almost went off the fans' theory and then just said, like, oh, yep, you guys got it right, when really Nintendo was like, whatever. They already did all the work for us. Okay, so we already know about the whole demise, set up everybody there. That's yep. Okay, yep, Sword. Okay, so Twilight Princess. Yep, already kind of got that. Let's see what happens with the Mario movie. I wonder if that's gonna add any extra lore. Okay, so that was the Sky era. We already kind of went over that. Zelda and Link created, populated the land. There's a main article of that. Okay, so that's just the general overview first. Okay, so the Era of Chaos. Oh yeah, that's when the interlopers tried to go take over, but they were pushed away. Ryu then built the Temple of Time. Okay, yeah, and they eventually became the Twilly, whatever they call. So during the Era of Prosperity, Zelda's descendants established the kingdom. Yep, okay. So first is the Force Era with the Minish Cap. So during the Force Era, Hyrule was attacked by evil being. The Minish, known as the Hylians, as the Picori, descended from the sky to save Hyrule, always coming from the sky. They brought the Picori Blade and the Light Force to the Hero of Man. And the hero sealed the evil beings in the bound chest, locked it with the Picori Blade to commemorate the event. The Picori Festival held once a year. So on the 100th anniversary, a corrupted, power-seeking Minish, named Vaddie, wins the sword during a tournament, and during the award ceremony, he breaks open the bond chest. And unleashes the evil into Hyrule, turns Zelda into stone, Yep. Link, a blacksmith's apprentice and Zelda's friend, is enlisted by the king to have the Bakori blade reforged so it can save Hyrule. Meets up with Elzo and go on a little adventure. They resort. They infuse it with the 4 elements, and then yeah, okay, back to normal. I'm really excited for it too. I'm at least gonna give it a chance. Video game movies have come so far. I was actually pleasantly surprised that I enjoyed the Sonic movie. I haven't seen the second one. I probably won't see the second one in theaters, but I was still pleasantly surprised. So Badly Presumed Dead reappears, of course, having no memory of his previous life as a Minish, of course. He just declared himself a wild mage, claimed the Palace of the Winds. Generations later, Valley of the Wind Mage breaks free and kidnaps a princess. Okay, taking the Palace of the Winds, and then Link grabs the 4 swords, splitting them into 4 links. They gather and do that. Okay, so Era of the Hero of Time. This is where it starts to. This is where it starts to split. Well, Zelda, Link being a blacksmith's apprentice. I think that's common in a few of the games. But just long form content, like movies, can be so much time commitment, you know? I mean, sorry, I should have assumed, but yeah, just movies in general. It's hard to sink so much time into it. Okay, so in Ocarina of Time, it's the Civil War. Enters a long period of Civil War. A woman flees. That's Link's mom. Gives it the Great Deku Tree. Good times. I always call it Deku Tree when I was younger. The Deku Tree. I forget what I called it. It was not Deku. It was bad. So Ganondorf, wants to go open the door, get the Triforce. Basically uses kids to do his dirty work. Okay, so they seal it and they win, and this is the Hero of Time timeline. Hero of the Hero of Time. So it goes from the Fallen Hero, the Child timeline, and 3 branches: the Fallen Hero timeline, the Child, and the Adult. Okay. So first is the Fallen Hero timeline. And yeah, we saw this. This is where we get to the Imprisoning War. A Link to the Past. Goes to Link's Awakening. Okay, I'm interested to see where this goes. But yeah, the first one is Link to the Past. Ganondorf has the Triforce already. And because he has the Triforce, he creates the Dark World. So the Dark World literally is the Sacred Realm and kind of just like brings in Hyrule's world to it. And so Link has to get all of the 7 maidens, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so this is what I'm kind of interested in. So after defeating Ganon, Link embarked on a journey of training in preparation for new disasters. Well, Ganondorf only attacks every 10 centuries. Every millennia, so sorry, buddy. On his sea voyage back to Hyrule, his terrible storm, sunk it. He's on Dreamboat Island. Okay, upon his attempt to leave the island, it's him insists that there is nothing beyond the sea. After traveling all the items, he fought the nightmare. Woke up, clinging to a driftwood. He's dead. He's dead in that one. The Dodo Tree. I think he's a bunny rabbit. I think he's a bunny rabbit in it. This is the longest I've had 2 views for. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, so after the defeat of Ganon, his surrogate mother, the witch's twin Rova, plotted to revive him. Oh yeah, because Ganon was born by twin Rova. For his ritual, they require 3 flames to be lit. Okay. In order to obtain these, they send minions. Okay, one day Link visits Hyrule Castle, and the Triforce beckon him into his chamber. Okay, once he placed his hand on the Triforce, it transported him to the distant land of Holodrum, where the new adventure begins. Because in this world, while Ganondorf have all the 3 pieces because he killed Zelda and Link, Link gets it back in A Link to the Past. And then here in Oracle Ages, they are still keeping on to it. And then it sends them back over there. So upon waking there, you see Impa, attacked by monsters. Okay. Who's singing to animals? So again, I feel like this is just another one of those like worlds, kind of like Majora's Mask, where it's like a different, almost like parallel world, you know, because you have Nehru and all that. Which I'm pretty sure is one of the goddesses' names. Okay, so he travels back in time. Okay, so in order to light the third and final flame, Twin Rover captured Princess Zelda, who had arrived. So she also arrived. So it's interesting. They would complete in their dark ritual and light the flame of despair. Link challenged them and killed them in battle as a last-ditch effort to complete the sacrifices needed to revive Ganon. They offered their own bodies. Why didn't they just do that to begin with for their own child? But whatever. Okay, so, however, because the ritual was incomplete, Ganon returned as a mindless beast. Oh, that's cool. They need to make an anime of, like, Zelda, like, ASAP. I'd pay for it. Okay, so after Link's adventure, the Triforce is again split, despite being sealed in the darkness following his defeat at the hands of Link. Obtained the power again, which remains sealed in him. The Triforce of Courage's location unknown, but said to be, yeah, of course. Then we get the Link Between Worlds. Now it's, again, centuries. Peace, Hyrule once again shattered by the sudden appearance of the wizard. This cruel magic, yeah, he invades, transforming this descendants onto paintings of the 7 sages. Again, the young blacksmith's apprentice. There's so much to work with too. I mean, there's so many different stories you can tell. And they already have like the manga to like work on. I would totally watch that. He retreats to the world of Lore. Okay, yeah. So Link is too late to stop him. So using his magic, he's able to release Ganon. Of course. So yeah, because this is just a retelling basically of A Link to the Past. I would imagine if Princess Peach was half as competent as Zelda. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the Mario movie does about that. Taking the Triforce. Okay, so taking the Triforce, he rushes to challenge the Yuga, only to find Hilda waiting for him there at the throne room. She reveals the truth. It was her who sent, oh my god, to release the Demon King. Taking the Triforce of Wisdom from Princess Zelda, because this is like her Bizarro Zelda. She explains the history of her kingdom. Lorule was once had its own Triforce, but destroyed by her ancestors long ago to stop endless wars over power. However, with the Triforce gone from the world, her kingdom crumbled. Monsters arose, and the world turned to darkness. Oh my goodness. Upon hearing of another world with its own Triforce, she actually sent Yuga to obtain it. Oh my goodness. Using Ganon's will, okay, Link fight valiantly, however, and defeats Yuga, upon which point Hilda demands he relinquish the Triforce of Power. Yuga disobeys her ruler, and using the magic upon her to take the portrait and her Triforce of Wisdom into himself, becoming stronger than ever. In a desperate final battle, Link, with the aid of Princess Zelda, finally defeats Yuga, and upon his defeat, Hilda and Zelda are returned to normal, yet Hilda still deserves. I mean, she knows what she wants. At the last moment, Ravio appears and reveals himself to be Link's Lorulian counterpart. And once Hilda's loyal subject and pleads with her, oh, that's a cool ending. To return Hyrule to their Triforce. Okay, that's kind of cool. Finally relenting after seeing the senseless fighting. This is not what our ancestors won. I mean, you have a whole bunch of monsters, and your version of Link is selling items. Whatever. So once they return, the connection's gone. Link finds the Triforce once again whole. Okay, how do they even get over there then? Oh yeah, because of Yuga. I'm Triforce, I'm not going to really look at that. So we're still in the Fallen Hero timeline, right? Yeah, we're still in the Fallen Hero timeline. Okay. So following the recovery in A Link Between Worlds, there's the Golden Era. Successive kings govern the land. Always kings, yet there's always princesses, and never a queen. The last such king, doubting his son's worthiness, hides the Triforce of Courage in the Great Palace. Oh my god, are we gonna get... No, that's not canon. Okay, well... upon his death, he casts a spell on Hyrule, which the crest will one day appear on a young man worthy, wielding the Triforce of Courage. The king confers the secret location to his daughter, Princess Zelda. So the Prince of Hyrule ascends the throne, but only inherits the Triforce of Power and Wisdom, abated by a magician. The new king questions Princess Zelda on the location of the missing Triforce when she refuses to reveal her father's secrets. The enraged magician places her under the spell of eternal sleep. Filled with regret, the new king places Zelda on an altar in the North Castle, declares that all women born to the royal family are named to be Zelda. The cursed princess becomes known as Princess Zelda the First, I'm guessing. The repentant king governs Hyrule to the best of his ability, but without the power of the full Triforce, the kingdom falls in decline. I think these people can rule without the Triforce. I don't know. I mean, Bowser has, like, his love of minions. His minions, I feel like, love him in, like, the rich lore that is Mario. But I feel like Ganon has much more of, like, a bloodlust that shows, you know. I mean, I feel like Bowser's the kind of villain who, like, defeats Mario, but will never, like, kill him. You know, just be like, haha, I defeated you and threw you out of my castle, and I'm just gonna kind of, like, stare at Princess Peach lovingly. Where it is Zelda... Ganondorf, like, wants to kill everything and destroy, and like, really rule with an iron fist. So now we're in the second Zelda game. So many years later, the evil army led by Ganon attacks Hyrule and steals the Triforce of Power. Okay, so to keep the Triforce of Wisdom... Oh, because she's sleeping in that game. Yes, okay. Splits it into 8 and hides the pieces throughout. So this is just the Triforce of Wisdom. The princess sends her nursemaid Impa to find someone with the courage to defeat Ganon. Ganon imprisons Zelda and sends the search party to find Impa. And traveling Link, happens upon Impa. And Link drives them off. He sets off to recover the 8 pieces from the 8 dungeons. He confronts Ganon, and the Death Mountain defeats the Demon King using the Triforce of Wisdom, the Magical Sword, and the Silver Arrows. Zelda declares Link the hero of time. Okay, so that was the Legend of Zelda, like the first one. That's one way to paint a picture. I don't know if that's the perfect analogy, but that is definitely one way to paint a picture. I'm sorry, there was a kernel. Okay. So Hyrule is... If anybody can tell me how to... Okay, I'm guessing that just means, like, sieged. But I gotta know what this word means. Beleaguered. In a very difficult situation. Placed surrounded by armed forcing. Well, that sounds pretty right up the alley. Alright, so, oh no, where am I? Okay, so Hyrule is beleaguered by Ganon's minions who remain after the death of their leader. Oh, so they don't want to give up. That's awesome. Link remains. Bowser's minions would never do that. The moment Bowser's done, I feel like they're just scattering everywhere. Like, a Goomba's not going to, like, keep fighting. But not Ganon's leaders. So Link remains in Hyrule to help its restoration. On his 16th birthday, that makes me feel bad about myself. 6 years after Ganon's defeat, he was 10? He was 10 years old. A glowing Triforce mark appears on the back of Link's left hand. Impa guides him to the North Castle and presses the back of his hand against the sealed doorway. Inside, they find the sealed the altar of sleeping Zelda, Princess Zelda 1. Recounts the story. She entrusts him with the 6 crystals and an ancient scroll written by King Hylia, who had hidden the Triforce of Courage. Link learns from reading the scroll that the crest on his hand is the result of a spell cast by the king, making him worthy of the hidden Triforce of Courage. The scroll indicates that the Triforce of Courage is in the Great Palace. Defeat the Guardians, yada yada yada. Okay, so he defeats them, and his last trial, he has to defeat his own shadow. Okay. He returns to the North Castle. The 3 pieces of the Triforce unite before the altar. The sleeping Zelda is awakened. Happy endings. That's beautiful. Okay, so this is the child timeline. So this is, I believe, when Link goes back in time and like lives out his life, but we'll find out here in a moment. Okay, so in the child timeline, that follows Link back in time at the end of Ocarina of Time after he defeats Ganon, okay? So he goes back in time. The young hero warns the royal family of Ganondorf's treachery. But what proof did they have? Zelda said the same thing, but like they don't really have any proof. Okay, Link leaves Hyrule on Epona and searches for Navi. Majora's Mask, not really what we're talking about, what we want to get into right now, but yeah, that's his journey, looking for Navi through the Lost Woods, some people say. That's my longest streak with 3 viewers, guys. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thanks for putting up with this. So several years after the Ocarina of Time, now we're getting to the... Oh, wow, he is... So they have, like, even, like... He wasn't just put to death right away, like, just put to death. Several years afterwards. So he's, like, sitting in prison, has a trial. That's crazy. So, he still has, like, the Triforce of Power, so when he tries to get executed, he, like, is able to destroy them, or not let it happen, but still, they use the Mirror of Twilight to banish him to the Twilight Realm. I think it's, like, the Shadow Realm from Yu-Gi-Oh! Many years later, in the era of Twilight, Ganon... Did I just see Princess Peach? Oh, that's the picture for Princess Zelda? Eesh. Many years later, Ganon appears before as Zant, a disgruntled servant of the Twili royal family. Twili. For those just joining, I'm terrible at pronunciation, so I'm sorry. Ganon grants Zant his power. He uses to usurp Midna, the Twilight Princess, aka the Twilight Princess. Midna flees to the Light World. They encounter each other on their ranch. They encounter each other. They could have been in pursuit of Bubblins. He's then transformed by a wolf. And the power of the Triforce Courage. Okay. So Zant curses Link back into his wolf form and seals the complete... Okay, yep. They get away, everything's all good. Link and Midna gather the shards of the Wheel of Twilight, which Zant had broken. Link defeats the Usurper. I like how they keep using that word. Midna takes back. The duo return to Hyrule Castle, where they can save Zelda from the resurrected Ganondorf. Link kills Ganondorf with the Master Sword. Everyone goes back, everything's good. Okay, so now this is 4 Swords Adventure. I thought we already got 4 Swords. I swear. 4 swords. Maybe it's a different 4 swords. Okay, so hundreds of years after the death, the people of Hyrule are reconciled with Ganondorf's rise. I still have a search function, okay? Mac is very archaic in some ways, but I still have a search function. But I do use a Windows keypad. So then when I have to go at work and use a PC, I'm always pressing the Windows button to like do functions. And it just totally throws everything off. So 100 years after the death, Hyrule had reconciled with Ganondorf's tribe, the Gerudo. That's nice, and seemed to be a while that peace would prevail in the land. However, of course, new Ganondorf was born to the tribe. You know, he was reincarnated of the Kingdom of Darkness. It just sucks that you can't, like, re-educate him. Like, you already know that the firstborn male every 100 years is gonna be, like, a problem child. Like, there's gotta be something you can do beforehand. But anyways, the hero chosen by the gods and violated their taboo on the ancient pyramid. He stole the trident from the pyramid, then stole the dark mirror from the Temple of Darkness. The mirror served as a prison for the dark tribe that once schemed to release the ancient sorcerer Vati from his prison within. So, like I said, they a lot of room for interpretation. So, yeah. I'm not sure if that one's actually in the right spot, but it could be. So the adult timeline, or the adult era, that's when, so, you know, at the end of Ocarina of Time, you go back in time. The adult one is, like, what happens to the land that Link kind of left. So in this timeline, Ganondorf is sealed within the void, and the Triforce of Wisdom remains in Zelda's possession. And the Triforce of Courage is left behind, shattered into 8 shards scattered. Oh, and that's when we get Wind Waker. So ages passed, the heroes of time faded. During the era without the hero. Yeah, so Ganon escaped from the Sacred Realm. He is about to take over things, but then the gods... okay, so gods... For the gods. Yeah, they pleaded for the gods, and they flood the thing. They have to go to the mountains. And then he eventually escapes to the surface world, seeking to regain the Triforce of Wisdom. He tries to find all of the Hylian girls. And he eventually, Link proves himself to be the hero. Yada, yada, yada. King of Red Lions is actually the king. He gathers those shards that were shattered when he went back in time. And then during the era of the Great Voyage, Link and Tetra happened upon the world of the Ocean King. Oh, scuffed animal reviews. Wind Waker was the one with the boat. We were talking about that a while ago, but Wind Waker is the one with the boat. Now I know what you're trying to say. Okay, so Link teams up with a sailboat captain to find the ghost ship. He finds clues from the temple. Okay, this doesn't seem too crazy. Era of Hyrule's rebirth. I should have known what you were talking about. Alright, then we had the Great Calamity. So, I think this is where all the timelines converge. I think this is like Nintendo's way of just being like, it separates but all goes to the same place. So no matter what, I think you end up here. Right? Yeah, I think so. Maybe not. So they'll take place an era long after the events of earlier games, and they just become myths, you know, hence the Legend of Zelda. It's possible to tell which myths are in fact, you know, fact from fiction. 10,000 years ago, revived 100 years before the start of the game. Okay, wow. Okay. 10,000 years before Breath of the Wild, that's when the Sheikah developed the highly... you know, the stuff like the Divine Beasts and whatnot. The Sheikah split off to become the Yiga clan. And during that time, the Sheikah eventually settled in the Kakariko village and were no longer banished by the royal family. I would like to know what they got banished for. How do you banish your own protector? Like, I feel like you have to do some really bad stuff. Sorry, I keep clicking back to the other screen because I'm just so in shock that 3 people are watching me. Like, I can't believe it. Like I keep going back to expect somebody to be gone. You know, it's like when you expect disappointment, you can't be disappointed. Okay, so the days of the Great Calamity. So now 17-year-old Princess Zelda worked to awaken her sealing powers while being accompanied by Link, who had been appointed by her protector. Only 17, they're so young. I want to see more adults. I want more adult representation in my Zelda games. Minutes after she finished spraying not sprang, at the Spring of Wisdom. The Calamity broke its seal. What timing? What subreddits do you post on your videos? Immediately after it managed to corrupt the entire Guardian army, possessing it with malice, and turned against Hyrule, the champions who were with Zelda near the Spring of Wisdom at the time rushed to their respective divine beasts. Oh yeah, they tried to defeat Calamity Ganon, but they can't. Ganon already sent the 4 incarnations over there of him, killing the champions. That's dark. Okay, so then Link gets sent to the Shrine of Resurrection for 100 years. That's awesome. So that land, again, is 100 years old. And then Breath of the Wild. And then can't wait for the Breath of the Wild sequel. Okay, wow, we got over that. So now we have context when it goes to some of these other things. I don't know who I want to look at next. Pedestal of Time. Imprisoning War. As long as you can get away with it, that's awesome. Alright. I'm going to read more on individual characters. But not as big as Ganon. I don't want to go that crazy, but I do want to see some trivia. Let's take a look to see if he's got trivia. Ganon. It is such a cool thing. I love those sprites. Alright, here's some trivia. Okay. Due to a glitch, it's possible to defeat Ganon in A Link to the Past with the Master Sword instead of the silver arrows. Was stealing minions and not his magic, as can be observed in the game. According to the original, the Master Sword was stealing Ganon's minions and not his magic. Okay, that makes sense. The shape of Ganondorf's ears have varied throughout the series. His initial appearance in Ocarina of Time child timeline is rounded ears. After the time gap, he was able to... Wait, after the time gap in which he was able to attain the Triforce, his ears become more pointed. So that's just a mistake. That's interesting. Okay, so he plays his own music. This makes the Ganondorf one of the handful to generate their own theme of music. Okay. And earlier, show design for Ganondorf, implying he was originally planned to appear in the game, because Ganondorf and Ganon are different, as I'm sure everyone knows. So originally Ganondorf... Wait, where am I? Okay. Hyrule Historia. That's where you're going to get your main lore right there. Ganondorf is 230 centimeters tall. And that's 7'6". Oh my. Yeah. That's tall. Okay, so prior to the battle with the Dark Beast Ganon in Breath of the Wild 2, Zelda states that Ganon has given up on his reincarnation to fight in his pure, enraged form. But the Japanese version, I would take the Japanese version over any other version. This form is born from his obsessive refusal to give up on the revival. That seems more correct. Okay, so originally Ganondorf, when defeated in Twilight Princess, gave a speech where he indicated Zelda and Link. Okay, so originally Ganondorf is when defeated in Twilight Princess, gave a speech where he indicated Zelda and Link and any who bore the marks of the Triforce of Wisdom, Courage, are inevitably going to enter conflict with anyone with Ganondorf's bloodline due to it being preordained by the gods. This was largely excised in the final version with... This was largely, put on the cutting room floor. Your Ganondorf basically just says that it won't end. The history of light and shadow will be written in blood. I hope they can come with a way. It'd be kind of cool if Ganondorf seeks for a way to stop the reincarnations. Like he was a good and a bad guy in one of the games. Okay. But they brought back that speech, I guess, with Demise at the end of Skyward Sword. In an interview made during the time Ocarina of Time was undergoing development, script director indicated Ganondorf had some redeemable traits despite being pure evil, similar to the character Ro from the anime and manga Fist of the North Star. Let's take a look what Fist of the North Star is. That sounds interesting. Does it have an anime? Does it have a movie? Uh-oh, better get off this. It's Toei. They're crazy with their stuff. Alright. But we'll have to take a look at that. So, Ganon roars in the final battle of Ocarina of Time. It was reused from Queen Goma. That's awesome. You would never know, unless you're like a speedrunner and you just beat Queen Goma and then you fight Ganon. The character strongly resembling the corpse of Ganondorf is set to appear in the Breath of the Wild. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be, I think, the second one. Ganon's boar-like form was born based on Zubei, one of the characters from the Chinese novel Journey to the West. In fact, during development of the first Zelda game, it was going to originally be named a reference to that. That is interesting. If you took a shot every time I said this is interesting, you would be hammered right now. Okay. Malice. Alright, my popcorn's basically over. I'm so sad. Good while it lasted. Okay. Okay, so this is like a goop that throughout Breath of the Wild has pure... I thought you edited your videos like very diligently. I feel like people keep joining right when I'm like eating popcorn, and it's so sad. So it's probably for the best that I put it down. Because first impressions are everything. If the first thing they see is me eating popcorn, then it's gonna be sad. People don't want to see that. Okay, so let's take a look here. At the top of Mount, covered in malice, in order to free dragon. What game is this? During the final battle with the Dark Beast Ganon, Ganon converts him to his original form. So it's just basically his, again, pure hate. I don't really care about... Oh, I want to go to Kokiri Forest. That's what I want to read about next. That's what I want to read about next. How do I get there? Kokiri Forest. The Kokiri Forest was the best way to start like a game. It was such a fun, just land to kind of learn how to play the game in. So it's eastern section of Hyrule. Okay. Central part of the Lost Woods, southeastern region. It said that no Kokiri can ever leave the woods or they will die. The Kokiri itself is a pleasant village filled with tree houses. There's a training center in the northern section of the forest where it is said that the Kokiri sword lies hidden there. That's their training section. That little... Okay. Yeah, popcorn kernel. The last bite of the popcorn kernel, and I get a kernel stuck. That's beautiful. That's just my luck. I think it's funny that that's formally called the training center, though. Okay. So it's home to the Great Deku Tree and its meadow and safe haven compared to the rest of the Lost Woods. The entrance to the Lost Woods is found on a cliff overlooking the Kokiri Forest village. It is, although through the Lost Woods that the sacred meadow can ultimately be reached. I've never heard of a musician keeping hiccups in their music, unless it's super intentional, but that one I have a hard time believing. So I'm obsessing to see if any of my videos got any new views recently. My Marge video got a view, and I'm so happy about that. Super excited. They probably saw it for like 10 seconds and left, but whatever. A view is a view. Okay, so in the small village that youngling starts his adventure after returning to the Great Deku Tree to save Queen Goma. The tree withers and dies. 7 years later, upon retrieving the Master Sword from his pedestal, he must once again return when it's overrun. In fear of the monsters, all the Kokiri decide to take refuge inside their homes. Ever since the Great Deku Tree died, monsters have begun appearing all over the forest. That's sad. But Link saves the day, and the new Deku Tree Sprout is born. I think that's the one we know and love today. So one aspect that makes the Kokiri Forest unique is the strange particles in the air. If Link stays still for a certain time, these particles will join together in a single file and move through the air in a fashion similar to Moldorm. It'll burst. I'm gonna have to try that. Every time Link successfully hops across the pad, he gains 5 rubies. Fall into the water, making a splash down and float. This behavior receives special mention in an interview and is likely an Easter egg. So I guess it doesn't do that in every other location. Yeah, I mean, back then, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not really smart when it comes to music, so I can't really speak on that. Is that what they say? Are they saying the Great Deku Tree Sprout? I wonder if that one is the one that grows up to the 1. No way, it's in... Is it actually playable in Hyrule Warriors? That's incredible. Deku Air. What is that? Tingles. Oh my god. And Tingle Rosie's Rubles. Or Rubies, whatever. Okay. Let's take a look here. And how does he know Link's backstory? I mean, I'm not gonna question trees, like talking sentient trees and whatnot, but like, how does he know their backstory? And he does turn into the Great Deku Tree of the Wind Waker, so I guess they just combined the 2 files together, which makes sense. God, 3D looks so good, and Wind Waker, and that's just cool design there. Like, they're in this little cave, but it needs sunlight, so all the trees are just going to go to the very top. Okay. In Ocarina of Time, the Deku Tree is the guardian of the Kokiri Forest. Yeah, okay, blah, 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 blah. The beginning of the game. So it's a parasite. The first dungeon destroys the... across the parasite. Afterwards, the Great Deku withers and dies due to the effect of the curse. Yeah, I don't think mine would do well with stuttering. So are you just riffing, or do you actually have a script when you're doing it? So the Great Deku Tree acts as a guardian of the Forest Haven. Yeah, to them, the Great Deku Tree is considered to be the father figure of the children. For it is him that protects them from evil. Okay, is that each year? I lost my spot. he sends off some of the Koroks to plant forest trees. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. This is done in hope that as the forest spreads and trees grows, it will consolidate the remaining land and allow some of the land lost during the Great Flood to be reclaimed by the depths. It also rejuvenates his power, for the power were to wane if the Koroks' fate as well. Okay, that is cool. Birthplace Forest Haven. That's an ugly figurine. Breath of Wild, okay. He watches over the masterful after the sword, okay. There are 2 shops there. Alright, I love manga stuff, and I'm not gonna, I hate Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land, but I do want to learn more about Tingle. Yeah, I wish I could riff more on my stuff, but I plan on doing some different content. Maybe even starting like a different channel where I can like be a little loosey-goosey. At the beginning of the Ocarina of Time manga, Guardian tells the story. Middle will not let Link listen to the Great Deku Tree story. Frightens the bully and his companions away. Tries to cheer Link up, but the boy asks why he's so different from the others. The Deku Tree tells Link that he will learn the answer in time. Later that night, the creature enters Kokiri Forest and okay, yeah. Revealing himself as the monstrous spider Goma. The monster then begins to feed on the forest guardian. Oh my god, commenting on the Deku Tree's... Okay, now we notice the Great Deku Tree's dilemma and asks him what to do. The Deku Tree orders to bring Link here. Now he brings Link with Mido following. Mido comments that the Great feels cold, rather dead. That he's dead. The Kokiri soon arrive to see what the problem is. Goma then reveals himself and enters the Great Deku Tree with Link, Navi, and Mido following after it. The trio defeat Ganon, but they learn that the Deku Tree is unable to be saved. He explains that that as Goma was devouring him, he read the monster's thoughts. Of course you can. By doing so, the Deku Tree learned about Ganondorf, the Gerudo King of Thieves, and plans to conquer the He gives him the Kokiri Emerald and instructs him to bring Princess Zelda. He then tells Zelda that he believes in him and asks the boy to make a shield of his remains. That is cool. He also asks Navi to... So Link in the manga makes a shield from the Deku Tree's remains. That's kind of cool. Okay. He tells Princess Zelda, Ruto, looking at a father, he lost his own when the Deku Tree died. That's sad. The woman escaping. Okay. Skull Kid in the mask. Faithful. Nintendo's Land. Oh, is that like... Okay, I've never played that game. Oh, what? That's cool. I want to see that. Is this allowed? Am I not allowed to watch YouTube videos? In here, Deku Tree. What does it do? Hyrule Warriors. There we go. I just want to see this. I hope this is cool. Whoa! I picked like the worst quality video, but that is cool. I don't think you can like copyright video game stuff like that. Within the code of the Minish Cap, 3 users playing on the stained glass. Okay. I would imagine if it's gameplay. I just wanted to see that. I think it's also like in context. Like if I'm gonna like watch somebody else's like hardcore video with like the music on and whatnot, then I would say it's bad. But if you're just gonna quickly watch a little clip, I don't think that's bad. Okay, so this is Tingle. Wow, he's got a way bigger history here. He's in Skyward Sword? No, he's not. Okay, so he's actually the son of the tour guide. He uses his balloon to see the land. He sells maps. It's funny how like a map in Clocktown is 5 rupees, but if you buy the Clocktown map in IKEA Canon, it's more. That's funny. Rocket Power. That's how you date yourself right there. I would love to watch Rocket Power again. Okay, so he's in Oracle of Ages on top. Oracle of Ages came out before or after Majora's Mask. He needs Ricky's assistant. Okay, so yeah, he's got a big role in Wind Waker. For stealing? He went to jail for stealing? I bet he did, too. I rewatched Hey Arnold recently. Yeah, Hey Arnold is a fun show, but I feel like Arnold's just too cool of a cucumber. Like, he almost, like, never has any, like, issues that, like, shake him to the core. You always know Arnold's gonna do the right thing. It's never, like, a guess. Helga's a pretty interesting character. I think she's my favorite character. She's, like, the most dynamic. But, like I said, with Arnold, you just know he's always gonna be the golden guy. You know, he's not gonna do wrong. Okay, so interacting with them. Okay, Four Swords Adventure. Tingle collects Force Gems throughout the game. Anytime Force Gem, he will retreat. Wait, what? Tingle will also try to get it. If Link picks up the Force Gem first, oh, it's like a game. That's fun. Okay, so yeah, he appears in Mingers Cap. And he initially fails to cross the Caster Wilds. When spoken to, Tingle mistakes him for a fairy and promptly requests that they fuse kinstone pieces. And he also has friends. Okay. Or siblings, sorry. He has siblings that look the same in that game. Containing a red kinstone piece. Fuse the kinstone piece. All four of the Tingle siblings. The final switch will call a ladder descent, allowing to get the magical boomerang. That was such a weak item for doing such a tedious check. Harold, he's like the fatter bully, right? Harold, hey Arnold, yeah. Yeah, it's just so funny how Arnold is like the least interesting one out of that whole series. Not in a bad way, because I guess you need that rock. I would love if Tingle was a Smash Bros. Character one day. Playable warrior, oh my god. Uses a balloon as a class of weapon, which he can use to bounce off of and blow up a gigantic size to pop enemies. Oh, that's bananas. Kulo Limpa! That's what he says when you buy his stupid maps. Tingle's one of the series' most controversial characters. Launched a Die Tingle Die campaign, expressing the editor's wish not to see the character in another Zelda game. His fetch quest was annoying. Given he got 3 Nintendo DS games? I don't think he's unlikable. He's interesting. He's different. I don't know. Hey Arnold was so much fun. I wish I could quote some stuff right now. The only thing I can remember is Stoop Kid's afraid to leave his stoop. Oh, Eugene. Eugene, I think, was the nerdy kid's bike. Poor Eugene. He's like the Butters of that series. The Butters from South Park. Okay. Oh, you can wear his outfit in a Tingle suit in Breath of the Wild? Alright. I gotta take a look at that. Tingle outfit, Breath of the Wild. Wow. I need that. I need that in my life. Does it do anything for you? Each item is set out 2 making it the weakest DLC. Oh, it's a DLC. And we'll get night speed up, enhancement on nighttime. They'll look at him with disgust with it. I guess that's kind of funny. That's the seed people village suit, right? No, Tingle is that one weird this guy. It's like from Majora's Mask. Yeah, okay. I don't know what I want to look at next. There's just so much content. Hyrule Field. Okay, let's see if there's any good trivia for this one. No trivia. I'm into trivia. No trivia. I'm done looking at that. Okay, so this is for the pedestal of time. Which actually he plunges in, which I would actually like to know more about this because I feel like this thing's always changing. So, Pedestal of the Master Sword is situated in the Sacred Grove at the Lost Wood. Aw, little boy. Gotta go feed the boy. The little boy. So the Pedestal of the Master Sword is situated in the Sacred Grove deep within the Lost Wood. And Link to the Past. In order to draw the sword, okay, yeah, by presenting 3 pendants. And then after defeating Ganon, he returns it, hoping that it would rest forever. But, nay, it does not. Well, I guess technically, I kind of wish that they formatted this in chronological order, because I'm pretty sure this is not in chronological order. But anyways, the Pedestal of Time sits behind there during the era of chaos. Raru, I gotta read up on him. Again, if you're just joining us, I don't know how to pronounce anything. Okay, so following the Hyrulean Civil War, Ganondorf enacted a plot to enter the table. Yeah, you get there. After Link frees Saria, he can go back in time and do time paradox with the Song of Storms. Okay. So, and then it's Pedestal. It's actually in Hyrule Castle now. And that's just like the funny thing. It's like first it's in the Sacred Grove, then it's in the Temple of Time, then it's actually in the basement of Hyrule Castle. I think there's actually a reason they say in there though. Okay, so this does not inherently restore the power to repel evil. Yeah, he has to like supercharge it. So this one now sits in the ruins of the Temple of Time in the Sacred Grove. So that's how they correct that. In Twilight Princess, after Link is cursed to permanently be in wolf form, Princess Zelda instructs him to travel to the Sacred Grove to find the Master Sword, as the Master Sword can banish evil, magic. The curse on Link is dispelled immediately as he approaches the pedestal, allowing him to withdraw the sword. Yep-ee. Alright, following Ganondorf's defeat and destruction of the... Okay, obviously just putting it back, so... And this one, Link kind of like forges it by getting it blessed. This allows Fi to rest indefinitely, so... Link successfully defeats Demise, sealed away in the Master Sword. Okay, so with her role fulfilled, a pedestal appears within the Temple Hylia in the distant past, and Fi requests that her servitude to Link be concluded by means of driving the sword on the pedestal. This allows Fi to rest indefinitely, officially marking the end of Hylia's mission. Remains undisturbed throughout the the Sky era. Interesting. Okay, located in the Sacred Grove, Lost Woods again, Link Between Worlds, Breath of the Wild. This one, though, the pedestal, the Master Sword is located in the Korok Forest, deep within the Lost Woods. In the Breath of the Wild, it's beneath the Great Deku Tree. I mean, it's whatever. You know, it's whatever. They gotta do whatever to make the games work. I'd rather them fudge the lore and, like, these locations and make a fun game than someone like sitting at Nintendo being like, it has to conform to, like, you know, the past. Am I super blurry on my thing? No. Okay, I thought I was. If that logo is sitting right over my face, then I gotta remove that, but that's okay. After Link awakens from his slumber, Link can return to the Korok Forest, withdraw the Master Sword, but he needs 13 heart pieces. Okay. Provided... Okay. Link will telepathically connect to a monk who will invite him to the Korok Forest to test the champion's courage. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. The Great Tree will explain that in order to fully awaken the Master Sword, Link must prove his courage in the trial. Recognizing that Link has accepted the challenge, the Great Deku Tree will advise Link to plunge the Master Sword back to the pedestal to visit the Sword Monk's shrine. By completing each stage of the trial, Sword Master will grow in strength. Okay. But I'm pretty sure the Brawl Subspace Emissary is the canon thing there. Okay. Trivia. Okay, so the 4 pedestals, similar to the pedestal of time. Oh, okay. In the 4 sword game, in the Twilight Princess, the cutscene of Link always show him in his default green attire. Okay, regardless of what he's wearing when last human. Okay. However, the shield will change. During development of Breath of the Wild, the Master Sword pedestal from Skyward Sword was used instead of the rocks with the Korok Sword. I wonder where that changed. Okay, so I thought that was Raru right there, but that's just an ad because my ad blocker won't work. Okay. So it's the Gabora, however you pronounce it, when in his owl form. In ancient, many ages before the events of Ocarina of Time, he constructed a new second Temple of Time over the former location. Okay. A cut period followed. During the events of Ocarina of Time, is not seen outside the Sacred Realm, except in its owl form. Being mere rumor from a gossip stone. So it's conjoined twins have sad news. Is that a real ad? That's gotta be photoshopped, right? That's gotta be photoshopped. Long ago during the era of chaos. Yeah, we've got to the era of chaos already. Yeah, connection between. Oh wait, sages are with. Is memorialized within one of the stained glass windows, where the Master Sword now enshrined. The royal crest is depicted directly above him. His appearance in the stained glass window is one of the several examples of how famous the events became in the history of Hyrule. The exact connection between and the owl were left up for interpretation and debate by fans, which confirmed the Hyrule Historia confirmed it. Like several other characters from Ocarina of Time, inspired a town featured in Adventures of Link to be named after him in the chronological universe perspective. Okay, Skyward Sword. I'm guessing, yeah, then this is his early version. Like, I feel like that's not. I mean, whatever. They'll confirm this in like 5 games, 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road. Even it laughs like an owl. Hoo, hoo, hoo. What a bananas thing. Wow. 3 was my ceiling. 3 was my ceiling. Well, this has been fun. I appreciate ya hanging around, Scuffed Animals reviews, and whoever those other 3 mystery folks were. It's a lot of fun. Maybe next time I'll actually be able to breach to the 4th one. Oh my god, I've been streaming for 2 hours. Well, I definitely need to take a break. But it was great hanging out with y'all. See ya. We'll definitely do this